Yeah.
It's Thursday. It's all about
a story a day.
A story a day.
That's right. Imagine being partially deaf,
and then you have this implant
put in your head,
and something else on your right ear.
And then you're suffering from mental issues as well.
Not just now, but from a very tender age.
Correct.
Of maybe 14, 15.
That's rough, man.
And difficult.
Well, it happened to our guest today, folks, and she's a pioneer. She's the one who's telling the story to anyone who will listen. Her name is Wangari
Renata.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of Españoles de las Monteres.
Oh, that's a little Spanish, huh?
Yeah. See?
My real name is Esther Wangari Muthoka.
And you've had this condition for how long?
I've had it for 10 years now.
10 years.
I'm 24.
You're 24.
But were you born deaf?
I was born partially deaf.
Partially deaf.
Yeah.
Partially?
Yes.
Which means what? I mean, what is partially?
When you say partially, it means what?
It means you can hear to some degree, but you can't hear to some degree. So on the left side, I'm totally deaf. On the right side, I'm hard of hearing.
How was it growing up, and you have to mingle with maybe people who are okay from hearing perspective, and here you are struggling to hear with your right ear, not your left ear. How was it?
It was quite hard because I didn't know that people hear with both ears in the beginning. And also that caused me to have ADHD, which is a type of mental health condition that most kids grow with in school.
Yeah.
Was it tough growing up?
It was extremely tough.
Give us a couple of examples.
Yeah, why was it
It was tough in terms of the system we have in schools could not include me. For example, I couldn't go in a deaf school because I can communicate, and I couldn't stay in a mainstream school because I'm not completely, because I can hear.
So you were between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly.
Good Lord. So in the end, what happened? Did they accept you, or you had homeschooling?
I was diagnosed with dyslexia also.
Oh.
They thought I couldn't learn.
Dyslexia. Guy, what's that?
People who have different learning, it's a learning disorder. And for me, I interchange numbers and words. Till date, I still struggle
To
deal with numbers.
Okay. What's the date today?
I don't know. I think it's 29th.
Of what?
29th you've gotten. Of which month?
May. Let me just tell you the fun fact. I have to count January to December. It's that funny.
For you to do what?
Yeah. And I cannot say A, B, C, D to Z
You
without
can't.
Let's
starting
try.
When you get stuck, yeah.
Let's A. So we'll do it like I'll start.
Okay.
Jeff will go and then you go, right?
Ready?
A,
B,
C,
D,
E,
F,
G,
H,
I,
J,
K.
M.
L. L. Okay.
JKL.
L, M,
Yeah. N.
P.
Oh.
Oh God.
P.
Q.
I. Oh no. I just can't.
So
do it.
how come you can speak but you cannot say the alphabet?
Because it's a super brain. It's where when you, like if I would chop off your limb, you learn how to use the other one. So in my workplace or any other place, when I'm given a challenge, I learn a different method of how I'll use it. So I am fluent in speech because I had to practice more. And it took me, when I was in class 4, I couldn't write my own name. Then
In
later,
class 4?
Yeah.
So if the name could not be written, think about answering questions. How would you do that?
Come a long way.
Were you an average student? Were you a top student? Or when you were number 1 from behind?
Wow, I love that question. Since I was in nursery school to class 4, I couldn't read nor write. But for the 4 years that remained, I learned the power of mindset. And that's when I went back to nursery, and by the time I cleared class 8, I had 300 plus marks. But unfortunately, life is life.
What happened?
I ended up not being able to pay a boarding school. I went to a day school, which has really mentored me to who I am today.
Was it good for you? You enjoyed it? Were the people good at this school?
We have to understand that living with invisible disabilities, people believe in what they see. So I was so much stigmatized, and nobody could understand, why is she hyper? Why can she not compose herself? Why does she talk too much? And that is when I learned the power of using your weaknesses as your strength.
So you could talk too much, but you could not pass exams.
Yes, because the learning method is sit down, focus, and I can't do that until I started learning how to use visuals. Like I would go home, take a cup and study with it, and that's how I became good at what I did.
Okay, what do you do now?
Currently, I used to work in customer service, but currently I'm a mental health activist, and I'm still trying to discover myself, and there is where we bring in things like people with invisible disability to be integrated in workplaces. So it's quite challenging.
Are there lots of them?
Very many. Like in terms of mental health, a lot of people, according to statistics, in 4 people there is 1 person struggling with mental illness.
So in this room
2, 4, 6, 7.
7.
No, really.
So tuko na wawili na si mimi, kwa tunambwangwa kila mzee ni kreki, kila mzee ni fiatu, kila mzee ni chizi, ni mogoroki, ni kichaa, ni wazimu, lakini it's a degree that varies, right? So how do you know yenye yangu ina need medical ama professional attention?
The brain is the only part of the body where it's sick, it won't inform you.
Did you say that again?
The brain is the only part of the body. When it's sick, it won't inform you it's sick.
The brain is the only part of the body that when it's sick, it won't inform you.
Then there's no connection. Kama akomteja.
Yaani kama umeviatu na ujui umeviatu.
Akomteja.
Your design.
Good Lord.
Yeah. That's why when you meet somebody in a manic episode, somebody who is depressed, and I tell you, you know what, you're going through depression, and most of us are in denial, and that's why it's so hard to treat. And also coming from the fact that in Africa and in Kenya specifically, when you speak about mental health, the first thing you face is stigma. The second thing you face is lack of acceptance, and there is where
ukimpima wagari huyu yuko sawa, pia yana need help. Yeah. What are some of the signs to look out for? Kuonesha we ndo de sawa we.
I think the signs are right here.
Unaona nanimo na hii ndio stigma tunaongelelea.
Changes in how the person behaves, changes, for example, a person who is depressed will withdraw, changes on moods. For me, it was I'm an extroverted person, but now it got out of extreme. My ideas, for me, I call my brain a super brain. And if we take people with mental health disorders as people who can do something in the community, then it's a nice thing. So the signs are you check the changes in this behavior. Person's behavior.
So watalala sana, watakunywa sana, watakula sana,
watavuta sana,
vitu kama hizo, ama wajiweke the withdraw like from kawaida people, pate mtu sasa anakaa kivyake, si ndio? Ama anajifungia kwa room
na kuna veve zako,
uko na maveve na mavela na nini na vitu kama hizo, na kufanya behavior tofauti kama kukunja makaratasi throughout,
ama maybe kuongea sana ama kutoongea.
Sasa wewe unasema kwa partially deaf, ilikuwaje ukiwa chuo ati hausikii vizuri na una mingle na wase wenye wako normal?
I ended up learning how to lip read. Lip reading naangalia mdomo. And secondly, I ended up in a supportive school, Karori High School, and where walinisaidia, I ended up getting the cochlear implant. Cochlear implant. Yes.
Is it painful?
It's not painful.
It's magnetic.
Yeah.
I put on some magnetic studs sometimes, na nasianga venye zo chuna masikio. So mimi nashanga kwa kiongo, kwa kichwa, because it's magnetic, right?
It's magnetic.
You can pull that stuff out.
Yes.
Hebu. So ukitoa hivyo ufikiri.
Uko sawa?
Wait. Remove. And then let's communicate when it's not there.
I will still hear with my right ear.
So this one is for your left ear.
Yes.
Okay, what if I say these words? Can you read my lips?
Oh my God, I can't say that live on radio.
Okay?
Yeah.
And when we say,
Yes.
did you do that?
Yes.
Wow.
And when we say,
Repeat, please.
I
Now
don't
the
think so.
issue is when people are trying to not speak up.
Yeah.
They kind of, when they're speaking to a deaf person, they exaggerate their lips.
Yeah.
But if you do it normally,
naturally,
like you do that
like
naturally, the way you normally talk,
Right. No,
I'll be able
no
to
exaggeration.
understand. Treatment, hearing loss treatment are expensive. The hearing aid is expensive. The cochlear implant is expensive. It's millions of money. The hearing aid is 100,000 plus. There's nothing cheaper than 100,000 plus. But thanks to doctors like Dr. Sarah, I had a support system who believed in me, and I am so grateful.
So how long have you had your hearing aid, like the one on your right hand side?
I was implanted on 21st November 2021, and hearing aid since I was in primary.
Before that, how was it?
Hard. Because the dangers are you cannot have balance, and also if you have hearing loss, you're very prone to mental health issues.
Okay, so let's say back then, you're trying to grab a matatu, right? And you get
Mbona
it.
akiwa akisema
Beba.
tano kona kumi town, tano kona kumi town, tano, would
Would you
you
understand?
Well, you cannot understand nor process the information, but good thing about having hearing loss is we are very good with body language. So
So
And
when
vibration.
the Makanga says all this, how do you respond when you can't hear or lip read?
the good thing you do is I love the fact they put posters. So every time you're given a challenge, you're able to find a coping mechanism.
Okay.
So for you as a hearing person, you listen to the Makanga. For me as a hard of hearing person, I'll look more than I hear.
What are you looking for?
I'll look at posters. I'll have more visual. I'll look if it's archives. I'm supposed to go to this place, and I'll cram and put that place in my head.
masikio?
Yes.
Ndio inafanya kuwa na balance.
Imagine.
So masikio kitupa mbao hata motion inakuwa compromised.
Kwa ngori.
So unaweza ukaimagine watu kama wanavyoenda across the road.
Bas. Q. Naweka 2-3 hivi.
Again, una balance juu masikio iko messed up, and then umeenda umebugia. Do you partake?
I've never smoked nor taken alcohol, and I still have mental health issues and all that.
And you know alcoholism wanasema inaweza kuwa closely related to mental health issues and overdoing of this thing,
Yes.
drugs and everything.
Yes, it can cause
But here you are, sober ever since, right? Never done any drugs, no alcohol, but still
Hata shisha.
Never.
Nothing.
Never mix your medication with substance. And what I tell people is your greatest point to survive in life is healing. Ask yourself, why am I doing
Listen,
this?
Wangari, real quick. Do you talk to people in your same condition? Are you able to?
Yes, I've been doing this in schools, but also because I have ADHD, I struggle with paralysis. Paralysis is where you have so many ideas, but you end up in a stagnant mood because there's so much that they overwhelmed me. So I'm celebrating 9 months out of a mental hospital, so I kind of get afraid to continue doing all this, but it's high time we tame the shame.
High time we tame the shame.
I love it. And your parents are alive?
Yes, both my dad and my mom are alive. My mom is my greatest supporter, and my dad has been my backbone also.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, and are they okay?
Yes, my sisters and I love them so much. We are all girls, and they have also been my greatest
How
support.
many? of
many?
them? How many?
We are 4 girls. Yeah, we are 4.
And you are number?
What born are you?
Second born.
Second born. Okay, cool. All right. So, what's the next step for you? What do you want? How far do you want to take this? Because you become, I guess, sort of a pioneer, right?
Yeah.
Just give mtu
And a champion.
What do you want to do with this?
First of all, I want to create more awareness, and first of all is to tame. To tame is whereby you say this shame is normal, and when we create awareness first and educate people about this, providing training. For example, it's very hard for people with mental illness to find employment. So if we create a safe space as a country, for me, I want to we understand that people with mental illness are people like any other, and invisible disability is the ability to be different.
Give us an example. I mean, you said it's difficult for them to get jobs, right? So they apply, they are called for an interview, and then in that interview, I guess, you know, the person interviewing them says, this person is not, is a little nuts.
Okay.
So, and they reject them.
Yes, and that's why people don't disclose their condition of mental health. But if the government can bring safety for us, it can really, really work.
Is the government helping in any way? Nasaidia.
Government wenyewe wako na shida za kiongo
Na hawasikii.
na hawasikii chenye majenzi wanasema.
So, have they been helpful?
Speaking of the government, I was in Mathari 2 days ago. I was in a good insurance. Unfortunately, I was removed. And right now, when I was in Mathari, it was totally full. I have a bite from a person who was manning. People are tied in ropes. And seeing that, it really broke my heart.
I'm sorry, you just said you have a bite from what?
From
A
someone
person.
who was a manic episode.
A little bite?
Yes.
Maniac episode. Hiyo inamaanisha kuna msee zilikuwa zimeenda Buruweni akakubite.
Yes.
On your
Mwili Jeff, mwili.
Cause hakuna strong room kwa casualty. No strong room in casualties of Mathari. And this is something we have been advocating for a long time. Cause I ruptured my own Achilles tendon at Mathari.
what, running from
Achilles ni hizi za ango hapa.
hapo chini.
Achilles si Buruweni touch. Achilles is English.
Yeah.
So ukisikia Achilles haimaanishi ati brains. Kuna tu blada
Named after a Greek
God.
no, not a God, but he was a very prolific soldier.
Okay.
Achilles. He tore his heel.
Okay.
Hapo nyuma.
Hapa nyuma. Ni tu blada tu hapa backmanus kwa mguu. Tosha unajua anafikiria ati I tore my Achilles. Anafikiria my brain. Anafikiria sa basaki ama ni basaki. You did that.
Then zangu zilikuwa zote mbili, akili na Achilles, because I was sick.
Achilles.
Buruweni. Na asa pa backmanus. So ulikuwa umeenda Mathari as a patient ama ulikuwa umeenda for advocacy?
As a patient, because also sahi hakuna dawa. I cannot find my ADHD drugs. I cannot find, so it's hard for us, and it's totally expensive. It ranges from 10 to 100,000 per month, and it's breaking my heart that right now insurance cannot cater for us. And I hope we can get medication, because without it
Shaina, inakubali.
it's not working as it's supposed to work, because even if you cover consultation at Mathari and you're not giving me medication, it's not working. Also, the doctors at Mathari are so overwhelmed. Very. You find one doctor with more than 200 patients. How do you expect that doctor to treat you?
So that's a ratio, 1:200.
Yeah.
Na wanamngojea hapo.
Yes, I met somebody amefungwa na kamba 3 days amekaa na hajaona daktari, and the situation there is not good.
And this guy who's been tied with ropes, how does he go to the bathroom? I mean, how does he get up and akitaka kwenda?
It happened to me. So they beat you up before, but right now
Beat you up?
Yes, that's what happened to me.
When you become unruly or what?
When you're in a manic episode, you cannot be able to control your brain. So when I was there, so that I would break my Achilles tendon. I was running away from them, beating me up. They think we can't remember, but we do remember. And if we have seclusion room, things like this cannot happen. So I understand why the security guards have to do this. It's because also they have not gotten enough training.
Yeah. Let's go back to the 200 patients.
Yeah.
I mean, who would be able to take care of those in a day? I mean, it's ridiculous. Huh?
It is unfathomable.
And
Fathomable. Man? Or how do you say it?
that's the one. Unfathomable.
Your design.
Huh?
Almost abominable.
So they the man bit your chest.
Yeah, but the family was saying sorry, and for me I was like, you don't have to be sorry. This is a person who is in a certain, he's in psychosis, so you have, it's us who should understand her.
How bad is Mathare? How critical is Mathare?
It's full to capacity. And painting the walls won't help us, but providing medication and proper treatment and proper services.
Yeah.
And getting more doctors, to...
So we should divert these funds, the bombers of Kenya, wapeane madawa
Hata ile ya State House,
Ile State House of Innovation 2 billion.
Okay.
Again, wapeane kwa watu wa madawa.
Na Mathare kumedhoka.
And you know, in 2017, if I'm not wrong, tulienda Uganda. Now we did a story with my former colleague Saida Swale about the Uganda equivalent of Mathare. Na ni amazing Kuruga. Ni amazing. As in imekuwa taken care of, infrastructure,
proper
support.
No people in chains.
Hakuna hizo. The Mathare equivalent. Na waka mention story ya Mathare. Wakasema hiyo ndio bigi kabisa Eastern, maybe Central Africa. Lakini management. Management.
And in mental health kuna dawa za zamani na dawa za sai. So you find the medication is the old version, not the new version.
Awatumie AI.
I don't know much about using AI as a doctor, but I know that we don't have enough licensed psychiatrists in Kenya.
Apart from the
Dr. Frank
Jenga, who runs Chiromo.
Yes.
Chiromo is dope. What do you think of Chiromo?
I have a doctor from there, shout out to him, Dr. Gatere. He's the first doctor who has been able to handle my case. Every month I used to be in a mental hospital, and for the past months he sacrificed and used to see me for free, and he's amazing. And Chiromo nurtured who I am now. They made me write a book which I'm currently writing, Mad to Made.
Mad to Made. Wow. From Uroki to kutengeneza.
I like that.
That is amazing. And do you think we have a lot of Kenyans who are hurting because they cannot access medical attention?
Or they're in denial?
Your design. Do we have a lot of those?
Yes. We are a depressed nation. That's what I say.
Are we?
We are. I usually stand at... I used to hawk mananasi, so people are happy. But now when you stand at archives and look around, we are a sad nation with masking.
And with happy pictures on Instagram.
So we're pretending.
Exactly.
We're living other people's lives.
And if we don't address mental issues at an early age, what do we risk as patients, as a nation, from where you sit?
We risk everything, because when you're mentally well, you're able to create employment, you're able to start up, you're able to function. The brain is the engine of everything that happens in life. Meaning, if you're not psychologically okay, you cannot show up to work every day. And there are people who break down even before they go to work. So I understand HRs, I understand companies, I understand everything that is going around as a nation. So we are risking a lot by not putting mental health as a priority.
What is the end game for you, Wangari? Where are you going to take this?
I want to take this all over the world. I run a program called Share to Save Life, literally.
Share to Save Life.
Yes. But I'm working on starting a foundation, the name, but I would love to get mentorship in terms of how to go ahead with that. And I would love to encourage anybody who is out there living with any form of mental health issues, seek help, speak up. You're not alone. It's time to stand firm. I also write poetry and spoken word, and I've been writing about mental health issues, and I believe it's something that we can bring change.
If people want to get in touch with you on your socials, would you like to give them out?
Yes.
Where do they get you?
Wangari Renata.
One word.
Wangari Renata.
Yes. Or Share to Save Life on both YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Fantastic.
We have like 5 minutes before we wrap up, right? Give us less than a minute of a piece that you've done on spoken word.
They say disability is not inability, yet they never see our abilities. They see us as a liability. Dear God, we feel like a disgrace. Give us grace in this life, in this race. In this situation, when we stand firm, forget about the past, because there's a lot of pain that we are going through. It's time to gain back. And this is my story. To God be the glory. May the world hear us, and may we heal from our traumas.
Makofi, Makofi, Makofi.